Got ourselves Curdy over for the team 1. The Smurfs on that team. We got Goera's Toxic gonna be first up. Radimus in the bag, dude. At some point, they're gonna have to let Radimus off the leash, man. Just let him go absolutely berserk. Toxic switching around, actually. He went full Toxic. And switch around from like a female Night Elf to a male Night Elf, which I actually think this kind of looks menacing. Look at that. I think it looks sick, just the way they hold the weapons with those daggers too. It looks good. They're trying to figure out who's going to be first, dude. We got yourself a plate squad, man, with Dan, Bayek, Saya, Leo. Leo's going to be first up. And we got Young there as well. Leo starting off with Frost Death Knight, playing out the Rider build, so he's not going to have the big Reap. But instead, he's gonna have to have the horse build and everything. Gouge just lets him put up a couple of dots into a cheap shot. Dude, using Gouge as a pseudo stun is diabolical. Leo's just getting melted. Woo! All right, Toxie. Okay, Leo, it's just a warm-up game. Warm-up game real quick. You see our team's rolls? 1, 5, 8, 10. Bro, who's got the highest roll? I mean, Leo, I don't know what he's got for his roll, but unlucky roll. What just happened? Rogue happened. Rogue happened. This is why Tox is like, you know what? I'm not sure if I like Midnight Rogue. You can't do one shots, and that's what he's talking about. Like this is what rogues live for, man. A big setup, big death mark, couple of hits. Unfortunately, Death Knights can't do anything about it. There just isn't much he can do. Like he pressed everything. He didn't use IBF, but I think he was waiting for a stun combo. I think he was just trying to see if he could live the dots, and he fell too far back. And it's like, even if he presses stuff, it doesn't really matter. The rogue already has damage rolling, right? It's already pre-rolling. Bayek with the Searing Glare, Toxic getting hit, but the full Dawnlight does go for a cloak, which removes the bleed, which removes the blind effect. So he's just trying to see if he can put pressure into Bayek. It's just gonna go for a vanish to try to see if he can escape. Juking from one side to the other, walking on Consecration, unfortunately catching himself another restealth, and Bayek not catching him really all that fast. With Bayek picking up the eye, you should be able to see where the rogue is at. Unfortunately, I hate when the eyes do that. I hate when the eyes do that. But at least he's able to sit down for some food. For Toxie, he's able to recuperate cooldowns. He's got Deathmark coming up in 30 seconds, a little bit less than that. He's actually in a good spot right now. I can't press defensive with silence, and I played double DPS tricky because human is just cooked. Yeah. Like at that point, I didn't realize it was a silence. But it's crazy how many skills of Death Knight are technically spells. And when you silence them, like, you can't do much. Plus, if you disarm a Death Knight, there's also not much you can do either. Evasion up for Toxie. He's taking a lot of damage though. Bayek did press Bop, so maybe you can force a bubble at him. But Bayek I think he's just gonna try to see if he can whittle it down little by little. Toxie, all he can do is go behind the pillar, first aid, maybe catch a re-stealth. Tap? Huh? What? I don't know what kind of sap that was, but he lived. I was thinking it was lights, and Bayek knows if he just lands a hit, just lands a good hit on Toxie, it's over. I think Toxie is gonna have to wait until Cloak is up and a Trinket are up. I think he has to. Otherwise, if he goes up versus Bayek, that's a bubble. He can immediately immune, full burst into Toxie. All Toxie can maybe do is maybe get an open onto Bayek. As soon as he sees a Trinket out of Bayek or bubble, vanish immediately. Vanish, tuck tail, run away. Because you know it's going to be Trinket, probably stun, maybe Trinket, Shield of Vengeance. And if you Shield of Vengeance, you can vanish and run away before he hodges him. He's going to pick up the eye. Gouge for Toxie. Try to see if he can have himself a go. Trinket is back up and available, so you can counter. Does go for the Trinket. It's going to be a shield. Bayek taking a lot of damage, getting a shot right after. Going to be a bubble. Vanish is available. Cloak very soon. Cloak is available. Cheat death. He just living that cheat death. Bayek. Oh, Bayek died to the bleeds. Oh my god. Oh no. The problem is he got below 10% health, and with Deathmark doubling up the bleeds, it's literally execute. It's literally an execute, nothing you can do unless he pre-bubbles it before 10%. But the whole time he's probably thinking like, you know what, I'm okay, I still get 10% health. Wait. Rogue got the execute. And for Young, he's just gonna take a Toxie, not gonna let him out of his sight. It's over. Oh man. The Rogue did pretty good. The Rogue did do really well, chat. Did really good. Just look at his pet. It is pretty toxic looking, isn't it? It is toxic looking slime. I knew he had execute, but I wasn't sure if it would have before that. You know what? I feel like every time, everybody always gets a little surprised by that execute mechanic. Because sometimes it like executes you as soon as you hit 10% health, and otherwise like not quite. until you drop really, really low. I think it's because he double layered dots on you and death mark on top of it, and they're like maxed out, and he has shiv. The dots are so amplified that as soon as you hit 10%, you just die. Yeah. So I feel like if you, especially if Paladin, if you're used to getting low on health, right? Playing around like, okay, I'm a bubble when I'm super low on health. You get comfortable with getting low, and then Rogue comes in, and you're fine dropping low mentally, but the Rogue is now going to be able to exploit that. So unless you're used to... Is this the animation for the rug? I didn't know if... Ah! I didn't know rugs could do that kind of animation. What in the world? Huh? I didn't know this spin around like that. Is that always been in the game since Legion? Is that normal or is that new? I don't know if rugs had an animation before. Curdy is going to be up next, apparently. It looked like Mushka for a second, but instead, it is the Shadow Priest. And for Young, I think he basically has almost all his stuff up except for Icy Veins, but with the single shifting power, I think he'll probably get him back up and running. It's Jaz's favorite thing to talk about. What? They execute? Bro, it's a cool mechanic, okay? Leave me alone. I get excited about nerdy things like this, okay? Let me live my dream. Let me live my dream. Curdy with the silence full boy torrent. Unless it's a block on a Young. It is going to be a block on a Young. Curdy with a massive spell. He's trying to see if he can bait it. Does get to bait it. Oh, that's so good. But Curdy will not have a massive spell for one of the Paladins. Unless he canceled it early. Trick it's out. It's going to be Young trying to see if he can catch him. It's going to be maybe a potential stun. Follow to Curdy. Does have a full frost bomb. Curdy maybe looking for a potentially disperse here. Might want to disperse early. Possibly. He's going to go for disperse. Wally can still heal him. It's actually doing decent healing. He's going to go for flash heals right after. Is Young going for a reset with some cooldowns. Is going to go for a bit of a reposition with a displacement. Able to be like everywhere and nowhere. Always behind the pillar at all times. Breath onto Curdy with a poly. But he's not going to be able to go for a stun lockdown. He's just going to have to go for a spike into a meteor that's going to get Curdy incredibly low. Silence on a Young with yet another block. He can't master spell this one though. You can go for heals. Actually going to pop out of the block early. Avoiding the rift with that blink last second is going to be able to go for a couple of lances. But Devouring Plague is upon you. Does land a kick on Shadow. But I think Young is still just melting through those dots. I think it's just over. It is lights. Together with that pet also doing additional damage. Nothing he can do. He played it as best as he could. Double Paladin left on the other team. Either it's going to be my boy Saya or my boy Danduin, dude. One of those two gotta go. And looks like Curdy is going to be going up versus Saya. Unfortunately, Curdy has like nothing for a Paladin. And I think as a priest, you need literally every defensive and a lot of luck in order to beat a Paladin. Like 1v1, I don't know if a priest can win. And it looks like maybe just look at a team. Maybe it's like, hey, somebody want to fight him instead of me? No? Okay, I guess I'll have to do it. Saya's at least giving like Curdy a chance here to, you know, get a little bit of cooldowns back. But for Curdy, Dark Ascension is going to be the Blessing of Saint. For Saya is able to avoid some CC. And Curdy, I think, might be lights here, man. Unless he just has to pop Disperse immediately. Silence with a Void Torrent onto Pala. At least he's able to get a little bit of damage to him. Able to break through Shield of Vengeance. Disperse immediately. Yep, there goes the trade. Unfortunately, Disperse is not going to be able to do a lot of healing at 43% dampening. Look at that. It is barely keeping him alive. And Saya, I mean, he's in a great spot right now. He can just do a lot of just freebie damage on the Curdy. And there's not much Curdy can do. Desperate Prayer, VE, whatever damage you do will help heal you, but you're barely getting heals. Yeah, barely getting heals, unfortunately. And for Saya, he only had to trade one ability. Lay on hand, so he's okay. Blessing of Protection immediately to stop the rogues go, but immediate vanish out for Nesmeshka does put Saya in a bit of a weird spot because he wasn't able to bop and then go for a stun. And that's, what was that? Sap break? I'm not even sure. Is it just broken to like a rupture? It must have been a rupture, right? But Saya immediately had a Hodge ready to go for Nesmeshka. Did not even wait. Did not have to, you know. That's actually kind of credible. Might still be looking at a bubble here, though. He's incredibly low. No lay on hands for a while. Maybe can punish the rogue with some damage over time, but he is in a rough spot where he may be looking at a bubble, which is great for Nesmeshka, not great for Saya. Especially if he's trying to play for longevity. He already uses Zendarular Racial, which gave him a decent bit of healing. Might be looking for a bubble. Has to use it early, especially with the rogue. Immediate vanish by Nesmeshka, though, which is some in rogues, like if you're really trained for it, trained to like immediately vanish as soon as they pop an immunity. Make sure that you got the opener, you got the big cooldown, you disappear. Nesmeshka, unfortunately, is dotted with Dawnlight, and Saya is not going to let him out of his sight. Burning a bubble for Saya is still rough. because Goeres could possibly exploit it. Is going to get a binding shot, double tap ready to go with the trap ready as well. Does not let it rip though, unfortunately. Does get himself an explosive shot, but as long as Sai is behind the pillar, if Goeres does not close the gap to try to find the angle or do damage with a volley, it's the volley that puts an explosive, but it's not the volley that lets him hit the walls, unfortunately. I feel like volley that hits you with the walls is probably a little better, isn't it? Goeres with a ton of damage. Saya taking lots of hits with a shield of vengeance is able to survive it, at least for now. Has to wall this too, but he's out of immunities with the freezing trap waiting on the left sides, which is not willing to like run at. But he's looking to potentially maybe land a kill onto Goeres. Does he have enough damage here? Silence to follow. That's also going to be chimeric to reduce your self-healing. Not great for Saya. Binding shot waiting for you. Does get hit, but the Blessing of Sanctum is going to help. Goeres just is one good hit. That's over. Unless Saya just melts him with the Dawn Light. He's just going to need a few good hits. Knocking Saya away from a pillar with a rapid fire. Needs one good hit. Oh. Is Goeres still dead to the dots though? No, not quite. But Danduin probably is going to be able to walk in and just a single hammer, right? Freezing trap. Goeres catching maybe a Kama. He needs a Kama and a Cannibalize. That's all he can do right now. Kama and Cannibalize. Oh! I was surprised he could actually still see it, but I guess maybe Goeres was still dotted by something. Must have been, right? Danduin doesn't have taken him out with Radimus charging in. Danduin and Radimus have all the cooldowns available. Trinket for Radimus. Trinket available for Danduin. Does get hit with a Hodge. Is going to be able to go for Wake of Ashes. Might be a bubble out of Danduin. Does have to bubble it. Can he go counter-offensive here? Because now he's a little behind. Now that he doesn't have a bubble anymore. Unless he just goes for a complete reset, he's going to be in a rough spot. He is getting dotted. Dawn Light reapplies back on him. Searing Glare, but Radimus immunes it. I think for Danduin, it just lights, man. That is rough. 2 for Saya, 2 for Toxie, dude, with a burst of one-shots. It is lovely. It is very, very lovely seeing a rogue do some work again. I do wonder. I'm hoping Toxie, because he's press concerned about Assassination potentially being less bursty midnight. Hopefully they're not less bursty. Hopefully they'll be tuned correctly. But yeah, not having Cold Blood is a little rough. That's 1-3 palette. True. It is a rough matchup.